This'll be a hoot.
Welcome to Sinema Scrutiny!
I'm Heidi.
I'm Sarah.
I'm Mel.
And I'm Sam. And we are the Sausage Kings of Chicago. Today we will be reviewing 1986's Ferris Bueller's Day Off, directed by John Hughes.
Overview.
Obviously, the star of the show, Matthew Broderick.
Roderick?
He
rules.
Can of chunky cheese?
I know that it wasn't his job to cast himself, but whoever casted him, great job. I don't think anyone else could have brought to Ferris Bueller's character what he did. Mm-hmm. He's
Agreed.
Just wonderful.
And the chemistry between the main three characters is just chef's kiss. It's so perfect how they all mesh together, and I feel like the actors chosen for those specific roles adds to it so much.
They deliver the lines perfectly. I just love it.
So the girl who plays Jeannie, Jennifer Grey, she was in this movie, and then I believe after that she was in Dirty Dancing. After that, she got a nose job, and she was never really in a movie again. She might have been in like one or two like Hallmark movies or something, but she was so insecure about her nose, and then she decided to get surgery and you couldn't even recognize her, and then she didn't really get roles after that. So don't be insecure or you'll be poor.
Like us.
On a different note of how much we love the main, but on a different note, I hate Jeffrey Jones. I hate the character that he played.
Not Jeffrey Jones.
Jeffrey Jones is just old Caleb Worthy.
Jeffrey, if you're still watching, we don't hate you. We just hate Ed Rudy with a passion.
Why does he have such an awful obsession with just these specific teenagers? And not
Yeah.
even all three of them, just
Just the one.
Ferris.
Yeah.
It's like he's a young, impressionable boy. You need to leave.
Yeah, just like show up at his house and break into it and
And make his dog unconscious,
Yeah.
you know?
totally normal.
Almost assault his sister.
Yeah. It was the 80s, so it's okay.
80s, man.
This was the 80s, man.
The way that the secretary, I don't know what her name is.
Great!
The way that they talk to each other is so funny. Just the way that she's so ditzy and dumb, but she still puts him in his place. So
Yeah.
she's like, he's a righteous dude. But she does a good job.
Their banter is really fun.
Yes, it's giving old married couple, but in a way that I don't like.
Speaking of not liking Ed Rooney, I can never watch the end credit scene. Not the, it's over, go home, that's fine.
Yeah.
We love you, Matthew. But the one where there's the kid with the gummy bear, no. It's
They're
so...
warm because they were in my
It's
pocket.
just-
Like,
I don't like it.
The kid reminds me of
Fregley.
yes,
Yeah.
Fregley and Diary of a Wimpy Kid.
did you guys discuss this before, or did you just immediately know what she was talking about?
We might have had a chat about it.
Had a few lines.
I
of
know, I read her
conversation.
mind, actually. We're...
I would have been
Telepathic.
way more excited. If
Yeah, right. If I just like... Yeah, it's Fregley.
I think if I was alive in the 80s, I'd think that Ferris was pretty cute. But I don't, because I'm not in the 80s.
Sarah's actually a time traveler.
Okay, costuming though, I want Sloane's jacket.
Agreed.
Fringe is
fringy
iconic.
The jacket and the matching boots.
jacket.
The jacket. What's the jacket? Don't you see
Jacket with a hard G, bro.
Dream guest on my podcast.
Guest on my podcast.
That was too good.
Let's spice things up with one of my exes. I also like Ferris's sweater vest.
The sweater vest and the leather jacket.
And the beret.
Oh my gosh. The hats. They're so fun.
The trench coat, I mean, you can't go wrong.
Yeah. I don't know why Cameron wears suspenders, but he rocks them.
Yes.
He looks like a jolly old grandpa. And I love it. Except he's not very jolly.
Or a grandpa.
That too.
He looks really good for being a grandpa.
He sounds like a grandpa.
Cameron's actor just does a really good job at portraying mental illness in a way that makes people laugh but also like in a very real way. He's portraying what it's like to be depressed.
And it wasn't even just like when he was actually speaking lines, like you notice him like dissociating a lot and thinking that he's sick all the time, even though people would look at him and say like, you're not sick. He didn't want to get out of bed. He was convinced that he was sick. I think it's really, really accurate that there's like friend groups who some of them know exactly where they're going and some of them don't, especially after high school. I'm not saying that relates to any friend group that I've ever been in.
No, I don't. I don't know what you're getting at there. It's kind of.
And here is where we disassociate.
It's fine. You're one of the ones you know.
Another fun fact, Matthew Broderick actually improvised the clarinet scene and never had one lesson. He made that up on the spot, which makes that scene even more iconic.
Never had one lesson.
Not to be that person, but how did Ferris and his friends, one, have the time to do all of what they did in one day? Parade, baseball game, fancy restaurant, and two, how did they have the money to do parade, baseball game, fancy restaurant, fill in the blank, all the rest?
It doesn't cost money to hijack a parade.
It does cost money to go to a fancy restaurant, though.
And a baseball game.
From what I've heard. I mean, I've never been, because
They probably
we're poor.
just dine and dash. Let's be so honest. If he can get out of going to school for 9 days, he can dine and dash and get away with it.
That's a good point.
Or like they might have been like, yeah, we're gonna pay for your meal because we told you weren't the Sausage King of Chicago.
Right, yeah.
Either that
Because
or
he
like
was Abe
because he made a
Perlman.
reservation, they have like tabs there. Yes.
I love that Ferris always breaks the fourth wall because it makes his character feel a lot more personal and you feel like you get to know him a lot more. It's just really fun. Also, I can see why Ferris skips so many school days. His school looks boring and terrible. 2 of the classes that they showed us were just droning on, monotone teachers, and then gym class looked absolutely horrendous.
The only one that seems
Fair.
fun is Grace.
It's true.
Does anyone think that Cameron was in Drama Club? Because his impressions are
Oh my
off the
gosh.
chain.
I love the voice that he does for Sloane's father. It's
know.
so funny.
He might not have been in theater. He just learned to do impressions during his birthdays when his parents forgot.
That's
Okay.
really sad.
At least they didn't give him a desk twice.
A desk
Same
set.
desk
Desk
set twice. I'd want this one both times.
Oh my.
I love all the save Ferrises around the city and how the news just kept spreading and spreading and getting bigger and eventually ends up on like the water tower and outside the baseball stadium. It's just pretty comical.
They actually painted the Save Ferris Tower and they didn't take it down until recently because they were too lazy. That's all.
That's amazing. They should have left it up.
I'll pay them.
Yeah.
I have money. I have the money to do that.
It reminds me of Phineas and Ferb because his sister is like, what the heck is this? And she sees it everywhere and she gets all mad about it and his parents
Yeah.
don't see any of it and then obviously he doesn't get caught, so it's just
It's not a party, it's an intimate get-together.
Phineas and Ferb is a great series. Dan Povenmire, if you're watching, I love you. I also love all the contraptions that Ferris sets up to make people think that he's still at his house. It's quite funny to watch all of them get tricked by some of them that are not that clever.
All right, if you like Ferris Bueller, unlike some of us, and you would like to watch a slightly way worse version of it, you should watch Expelled featuring Cameron Dallas. It is the same movie, copy paste, but bad acting. Boom.
So do you like that movie or do you not like that movie?
I like it because it's campy.
Okay. Because you said it was a worse version of Ferris Bueller, so I'm like,
No,
does she
it's-
hate it more? Or?
No, I like it because I used to love Cameron Dallas, so I used to watch it all the time, and I watched it like a couple weeks ago with my roommate, and we realized how awful it is. Because Ferris Bueller, you can watch it and not like it, and it's not funny because you don't like it, but like Expelled is so bad that it's funny.
Right. It's giving all Disney movies ever.
It's literally like a Disney Channel original movie,
That
but
checks out.
somehow worse.
I didn't know that was possible.
But the main character is hot, so song.
The Ferris Bueller's Day Off soundtrack is full of quite iconic songs. I love how they pay tribute to Star Wars in the scene with the car. It's very nice. And then the parade scene with Ferris dancing on the float also has quite the iconic song.
Tonka Shane. That's a good song. I listened to that for like a straight year after I saw that movie for the first time. Also, I thought when I watched the movie that Matthew Broderick sang Twist and Shout. For some reason I look at him and I'm like, I feel like he would sing like that.
Yeah.
He was an original Beatle. I don't know. You guys, fun facts with Mel.
There used to be 5 Beatles, actually. Every time I hear Twist and Shout now, all I can think of is the parade scene, so I think they did their job pretty well on that one. Twist and Shout.
Come on, come on, baby.
Come on, baby.
Come on and work it all out.
Work it on out.
Favorite scenes. I particularly enjoy the scene in which Cameron is sitting in his car and he's debating on whether or not he should leave his house. The pep talk he gives himself is hilarious. And, just Cameron, I do really like his character. He's very funny, he's very real, and he's very traumatized, and we love him.
He's probably the most relatable character in the entire thing. Like, you want to relate to Ferris, but you know that you're Cameron.
You're just Cameron, I'm sorry.
I'm just Cameron.
Especially, like, the going out with friends knowing you're gonna have a good time, but, like, the I don't want to go right now while I'm not there yet.
He'll keep calling me.
I really like the parade scene because it shows, like, the very specific love that Cameron and Sloane both have for Ferris, even though he's, like, really crazy, and they're like, sometimes we don't know why we're friends with him. Like, we don't always like him, but we really love him, you know?
Which is just the best kind of friends.
Yeah, I don't like you guys at all.
Because I love seeing two friends who wouldn't necessarily be friends without the middle one. But now that they're all together, they all love each other and they wouldn't be friends with the other without the other.
Yes. It's a very, very specific trope, but every time I find it, I really like it. I already mentioned the parade scene, but I really, really loved the parade scene because there's just so much to it. And everyone dancing, I'm pretty sure that was real. They were just like, they just happened to have a parade, right? No, they planned the parade. But the people dancing like that, some of those were intentional and some of them were not.
That's cool.
My favorite scene is the one with the car going out the window, but only because it's the only scene I remember.
Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you.
I like
That's in
that
the
scene
woods.
too. I like how the glass gets shattered in slow motion. I enjoy a good glass shattering.
You killed the car.
I really like the beginning montage after Ferris's parents leave, especially like it's not a jump cut really because both of them are of him in the shower, but it's him in the shower and then his hair is like, and it's just funny because it goes from.
I'm not European. I don't plan on being European, so who gives a crap if they're socialists?
They could be fascist anarchists. It still wouldn't change the fact that I don't own a car.
The museum montage, I love the song from that. And then I also really love all the imagery, okay? And I always told myself that if I ever got engaged, that I would like recreate photos from the museum stuff, specifically the one with her like leaning on his shoulder in the stained glass, because that's really cool.
I really like this scene where Ferris and Sloane are talking about getting married, and they're just talking about life after high school, and it's just a very relatable scene where everyone who's graduated high school or is about to graduate high school can understand where they're coming from and what they're talking about. And obviously the questions have changed because it's not the 80s anymore, but it's just something that will always be of relevance because you're always going to talk about what life is going to be like after high school and who you're going to marry and who you're going to love, and he's going to marry me.
Yes! They're most definitely the she fell first, he fell harder type.
Obviously, we could not make a review about Ferris Bueller's Day Off without mentioning the scene.
Bueller.
Can we also talk about how many A last names there are in that classroom? It's hilarious.
It makes me wonder how long producers or whoever had to sit and think about how many last names
How
they
many
could
was
think of.
there? There was Adam, Adamowski, Adamson.
What is
Adamson.
that?
Those are the only
Adler.
ones. Adler. Yeah.
And then
Adamowski. It's just quite
I don't
sure.
remember the others, but
There's too many.
a lot.
Adams, Adamley, Adamowski, Adamson, Adler, Anderson.
And then it jumps from Bueller to Fry.
Ferris's running montage back to his house when he's trying to make it back is wonderful.
It is.
And when Jeannie just considered for 1 second, can I just run this boy over with my car?
He, was jumping over fences, and
Yeah.
I think at one point he jumped on a trampoline.
He did!
And
Dinner's ready.
yeah, there
Smells
had
delicious.
to have been a good amount of work put into that montage. So I very much appreciate the work they put into it, because it was fun to watch, and I'm sure Matthew Broderick was very tired after filming.
I also love the scene where they go into the fancy restaurant and he's trying to convince them that he is Abe Froman, the Sausage King of Chicago. And we were talking about that earlier, and we were wondering if that's actually like a real thing. Like, is there actually a Sausage King of Chicago?
There is now.
How often do they elect, for like a term?
I
And,
was
like,
gonna say, how do you coordinate a sausage?
Yeah.
It's the
And
sausage
also,
monarchy.
If it's something that they made up, can you imagine being in the writer's room and being like, yeah, what are we gonna go with? Who is he gonna pretend to be for this scene? Abe Froman, the Sausage King of Chicago.
Yeah.
What does that even mean?
I know.
Please comment down below if this is a real thing, because I'm genuinely curious.
And how does one become the sausage king of Chicago?
When is the
asking for a friend?
coronation? What are the qualifications?
I really love the scene where Cameron calls the high school office and is getting Sloane out of being in school.
Yes.
And Ferris is in the background and he's like, how did you say that? They just do such a good job. And as I said before, I really enjoy Cameron's impression of what he believes a father would sound like.
Well, I should say you do.
I saw a TikTok. I don't know if this is true or not. It might not be, so don't come after me. But apparently, when they had the actual script, it was written in the script that the father was going to be out front. When Sloane kisses Ferris and it pans back to the principal, that look is true disgust because he thinks that it's the father.
To be fair, that scene is a little...
They do just be munching on each other.
That's how it is in their family.
Favorite quotes. Bueller.
He's sick. My best friend's sister's boyfriend's brother's girlfriend heard from this guy who knows this kid who's going with a girl who saw Ferris pass out at 31 Flavors last night. I guess it's pretty serious.
Thank you, Simone.
No problem whatsoever. Ferris Bueller, you're my hero. Where's your brain?
Why'd you kick me?
Where's your brain?
Why'd you kick me?
Where's your brain?
I asked you first.
A person should not believe in an ism. He should believe in himself.
I quote John Lennon, I don't believe in Beatles, I just believe in me. Good point there. After all, he was the walrus. I could be the walrus, I'd still have to bum rides off people.
Do you think you'll be alive this weekend?
Yeah, I'd say I will.
You lick your palms. It's a little childish and stupid, but then again, so is high school.
The city looks so peaceful from up here.
Anything is peaceful from 1,353 feet.
I think I see my dad.
He never drives it. He just rubs it with a diaper.
When Cameron was in Egypt's land, let my Cameron go. So that's how it is in their family.
We'll drive home backwards.
You're not dying, you just can't think of anything good to do.
We ate pancreas. Here's where Cameron goes berserk.
I do have a test today. That wasn't BS. I mean, really, what's the point? I'm not European. I don't plan on being European. So who gives a crap if they're socialists? They could be fascist anarchists. It still doesn't change the fact that I don't own a car.
Hi, Cameron, you comfortable?
Hi, Sloane. No.
I did not achieve this position in life by having some snot-nosed punk leave my cheese out in the wind.
Jeannie, I can't see that far. I love you too.
Incredible. One of the worst performances in my career, and they never doubted it for a second.
I wanted a car, I got a computer. How's that for being born under a bad sign?
Never had one listen. That's a clarinet, by the way.
I was so confused. I was like, what is she playing?
Life moves pretty fast. If you don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it.
Final thoughts.
This movie is a classic of its time. I love the breaking of the fourth wall, the iconic lines, and the chemistry between cast members. Of course, you can't have an 80s movies without that cringe synth background music and a few corny moments. But overall, it's a very fun movie about teenagers seizing the day. I give this movie 4.5 out of 5 sweater vests. That'd be very uncomfortable for the half person.
I give this movie a 2 out of 5.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Alright.
Usually a lot of movies that I go to, I watch when I'm in a very, very specific mood, but I feel like with this film, I can go to it when I'm in a lot of different moods, and it appeals to different moods that I'm in, which is kind of repetitive to what I just said. But the point is, I really like this movie. I like the acting choices, the director's choices. I've always been a fan of John Hughes movies, and this one is at the top for me. I give it 5 out of 5 Sausage Kings.
Ferris Bueller's Day Off is what you watch when you want to laugh. By the end of the movie, it leaves you feeling happy to be here on this planet. I love the characters and the plot. It's the perfect balance between a slice of life and a comedy. And thanks to Ed Rooney, I'm only going to give it 4.5 stars, but I still really enjoy this movie.
Hashtag Ed Rooney haters. Bam, 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 bam.
Put him in the box with Fat Tom Hanks.
The box.
Thank you for watching.
Until next time.
Say Ferris.
And God bless.
Roll credits.
You're still here?
It's over.
Go home!